All right, welcome back to the 210 show. Today we have a very, very good pod with some interesting topics and some outtakes. But before we get into it, let's start with introductions. I am your co-host, Mr. Raider.
This is your boy, Angry Joey.
I am the hater with facts.
And I am Woo Pig Suey.
Okay, so we're going to cover everything from the NFL, college football, MLB, boxing, Canelo versus Crawford. We're going to do some fantasy football, sleeper, stud, or dud. So I'm going to turn it over to Woo Pig. Lead us away, man, on this college stuff.
All right, so let's go over some of the things that happened last week. Texas A&M looks legit. Notre Dame's playoff chances have hit 0. Georgia survives the test. So when you look at the wins for last week, Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M 41-40 in the last-minute finish. Tennessee lost to Georgia 44-41 in overtime. That was a great game. Clemson lost to Georgia Tech 24-21. Looks like Georgia Tech's pretty legit. And South Carolina lost to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt has gone on a 2-0 run for
That's
the first
crazy.
time in, I think, like 10 years. So
Hey,
those are the wins, losses in the top 25. And
didn't
I'm ready
Coach
to talk
Saban
about
say
it.
that nobody loses to Vanderbilt?
Yeah,
No,
he
he
did.
said
Right?
Alabama don't lose to Vanderbilt, but
Yeah, yeah. And then they did last year. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that's a repeat this year. But yeah, so Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M in a nail biter. So I have to ask our resident Notre Dame fan, how you feeling? How you feeling?
Okay, so I kind of felt like, and
Hey, tell him the text you sent.
oh gosh, dang, how do you hurt my heart anymore? I mean, my God, to lose to the Aggies. And for the record, for the listeners out there, my wife just so happens to be an Aggie fan, and for no good reason. No more reason than I'm a freaking Notre Dame fan, because it's not like I went to the fucking school. But anyway, because I'm Irish, I always followed Notre Dame ever since I was a little boy. Well, anyway, so these guys, they punched holes in me relentlessly for, all week long. But it wasn't even close to the actual bereavement that my wife gave me. But just, and my wife, she's such a sweet woman, but she cut me to the bone when we woke up that very next morning, and she was just in this very, very demure state of mind. And she's like, huh, as she's sitting there looking at her phone. And I just looked over at her like the naive person that I am. And I said, what? And she's like, that's interesting. Anna actually beat Notre Dame by 1. And I was like, I want a fucking divorce. Okay, for those in the field, I totally joke, but there's no amount of punishment that these clowns can actually pile on me compared to that one little snide comment. And then of course, my wife, she does to me like what I do to these guys, by, she's like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, that's so you can actually attest to this, how the kind of abuse that I give you guys when I'm playing you guys on poker night. So
Oh my God. You say the words blackjack to me ever again, Joey, I swear to God, I'll have a conniption.
So
God bless your wife.
it's the
God
most
bless her.
passive aggressive thing in the world, and she's looking at me like, oh, I'm Mrs. Innocent. And I was like, no, you knew precisely what you were freaking saying, you horrible person, you.
I love it. I love it.
She was waiting to hit you with that first thing in the morning.
Oh man, first thing in the morning. I mean, she's sitting there, we're both laying in bed, and she's checking her phone, and she's like, huh, looks like Aggies beat them by 1. I was like, I'm gonna go sleep in the guest room now.
Yeah. I mean,
No, it was hard, I mean, it was a very, very difficult weekend in sports for me, man. I got to tell you, and it started off with that. It's not the fact that they lost; it's how they lost. I would have much rather A&M just beat the ever living dog shit out of them rather than stretch it on. And we were actually having to try to have a podcast and stuff like that. And I don't think I could have concentrated for the life of me. I was lost. So, anyway, but yeah, there were some really, really good games this weekend, but I didn't see any of the other ones, just because I was so pissed off. I wanted to tune out everything. But hey, that's the world we live in, right?
I think Notre Dame's got a good team, but unfortunately, you're 0-2 now.
Yeah, it's gonna be damn near impossible for them to reach the playoffs now. I mean, obviously they'd have to win out, and they're going to be playing a bunch of cupcake teams.
Yeah, your
So
best bet would be for A&M. Who'd you lose to the first week? Was it
it was
LSU?
Miami.
Miami. Yeah, so your best bet is Miami and Texas A&M to be in the top 10 at the end of the year.
Yep.
And for USC to be in the top 10 when you guys play them.
Yeah.
Because
So
I think that's your last real big opponent is USC.
Yeah.
Which that'll be an interesting matchup since we have a USC fan in the group as well.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
would be.
yeah, and we might be having a jersey bet that day. You know, I mean,
Ooh.
just saying.
Ooh,
Just saying.
right. That would be interesting. I'm willing to watch that.
But
Well, let's not
Angry
forget,
Joey,
sir, we're playing a certain USC or SEC team this year as well.
We are.
Uh-oh.
We are. We might be the
Mm.
nail in the coffin.
Bold statement there, sir. Okay, we'll see.
Hey, but Angry Joey,
Speaking
Angry
of my
Joey.
beloved Hogs, we ended up losing this week to number 17 Ole Miss, 41-35. It was a high scoring game, back and forth. We did lose the game, but we actually looked pretty good in it. But unfortunately, we did drop. So now we are 2-1 as well. But yes, the Arkansas Razorbacks do in fact play Notre Dame this year, and I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we can put a jersey bet on that one.
Maybe.
Like,
and,
hey, you might look good in red. I'm
as
just
long as
saying.
you don't invite our boy
Oh,
Josh
shit.
and have beer-ritas there. I mean, I don't need any of that.
Things are lethal.
Well, Angry Joey, I do have hope for you.
Uh-oh.
I mean, all you got-
okay. Where's this
all you-
going? Okay.
all you got to do is just win your conference championship. You'll be right there in the mix.
Oh, you motherfucker! You listen to you.
Ooh. He hit him in the nutsack.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
we're all about-
Oh, you're gonna be
Hey,
so sorry
something
when
to
we
think
get
about,
to the
brother.
Big Ten. I'm just saying, man. Oh my God.
Something to think about, brother.
right.
Come on. I've been holding out the welcome mat for your happy ass for the last 10 years. So come on. We ain't scared of you.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. We'll
Scared of
see.
you.
We'll
We ain't
see there,
scared of
big
you
blue
or that
man.
leprechaun or touchdown Jesus. We are not afraid.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Angry
some
Joey
light words.
Gran Torino you.
When's the next time you two play? Michigan and do you guys have each other on schedule?
When Notre Dame decides to have the gonads to actually play us.
Ooh.
Oh, we don't want to talk
Shit.
about that. I mean, they might
Oh, he's
pull a
throwing
Michigan.
bombs over there. Ain't he? Look at him. And Michigan ain't doing shit this year, but he
I
throwing
know,
bombs.
right?
Hey, we're still playoff eligible, sir. You watch your mouth.
What's your record?
And don't worry, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I mean, they could win their conference and still get in the playoffs. So
They have to go by us, though. I mean, we're playing Michigan State, I believe, right?
You play Michigan State this week, and then you play us the following week.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty two good game stretch there.
Yep.
It really is. I can't talk no shit because I'm a little bit. I don't want to say nothing else, but trust me, if come week 6 and if USC is 6-0, y'all better press mute on me. I'm just saying, don't give me a USC segment.
all right. So other than that, we had Tennessee lost to Georgia and then nail biter in overtime. That was a heartbreaker for Tennessee because I think at one point they were up like 28-7 or something like that, and then they just let Georgia crawl back and tie it up and then win in overtime. Not much to say about it. Georgia's still Georgia. I think they're going to be there at the end of the year as well in the playoffs. The surprise for me was Clemson. Clemson lost to Georgia Tech. And the ACC is real interesting this year.
What the heck just happened to them, man? I mean, my God, they were supposed to be contenders.
They were, but here's the thing. Like, Clemson was supposed to be the only powerful team in the ACC, and it's looking like Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Miami are all looking really good. So there might actually be several teams.
There's some good competition, man. If
Yeah,
only
I can
Notre
tell you
Dame
why.
did it, but I'm just saying.
I can tell you why.
So
Okay,
for the
go for
record, I mean, I just want to make sure that you guys understand. I am an advocate for the Irish actually going to a conference. I really am. I think it builds rivalries. I think that there's certain animosities that actually build up. I mean, that's where the fun stuff happens in football.
I think the ACC would be the landing spot for Notre Dame.
I would like the Big Ten. Just because
I think the Big Ten is just a natural fit for them.
Yeah, and not only that, so it's in the north, and 2, you kind of rekindle that rivalry between Michigan and Notre Dame. let's not forget, like in the '90s, that was a big thing.
Yes, it was.
And the
Yes,
Big
it
Ten's
was.
a little weak. They need a big win. So
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
US, I mean, I never even understood where that rivalry came from. To be honest with you, I was just like, okay, we hate them because they're California people. You know,
See Rico's face right now. Heavyweight Facts is giving me a dirty look.
oh man,
Yeah. I I got a subject. I got a subject for you. We're not going to talk about it in this episode, but I'm telling you, you're going to need to watch your mouth. I'm telling you, Mr.
Okay,
AC,
all right,
you're going to need to watch your
okay,
mouth.
all right. Hey, so
I'm holding it in right now, brother.
so anyways, Clemson lost. They look like they're out at this point. But I'm interested to see what Georgia Tech, Miami, and Florida State do this year. Because any of those three, all three of those teams are looking really good when they weren't supposed to be that great. So we'll see. Georgia Tech has to play Georgia, I believe, this year. So we'll see. We'll see where they go. And then the last one was South Carolina lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is 2-0 for the first time, I think, in like 10 years, and they're looking
right,
good. And
surprising.
they beat the brakes off of South Carolina, 31-7. So
Wow.
good for Vandy. Good for Vandy.
Let me ask you, Kyle, because like I said earlier, I kind of checked out after Notre Dame lost,
Yeah.
and I mean, I wasn't even really watching up and before then because I just knew the implications on the game. Texas, did they play this weekend?
Yeah.
Who?
Yes. Texas
Tex-
played. They played
Yes,
UTEP.
Texas
They
played.
won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they played UTEP? Oh, well,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I will say this. We talked about this in the pod because the game I think it just finished last pod, but Arch Manning wasn't looking that great.
No.
so
Yeah, we had
that's
a segment called Fool's
hey there.
Gold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, give the kid chance, I suppose, I mean, because let's not forget he is a kid,
Yeah.
but I mean, he was supposed to be this second Messiah, I mean, I don't know what the heck to think now, I mean, interesting stack that I'd like to pull, gentlemen. How was Eli Manning and Peyton Manning when they actually came out of Tennessee and Eli Manning's college, respectively? When they first started their first two games, because they were the heir apparent as well. And some of these other premier quarterbacks. I mean, Tom Brady. I mean, even he, who is the GOAT, came out of Michigan. I mean, he wasn't
Yeah,
anything.
but it's different though, right? He went in the 6th round when Arch Manning's supposed to be number 1 overall pick.
Oh, that's a
You
good
know,
point. Yeah.
There's
so
one
it's
other
real different.
there's one other aspect that needs to be said here. And we didn't talk about it last pod, but we can bring it up now. The biggest thing that plays a key role here is the fact that Arch Manning has one of the highest NIL values in college football today. Okay.
Jeez.
So when you're making that type of money and you're performing that way, it changes everything. That's why he got booed in Texas, because they're not just looking at him as just a regular quarterback. They're looking at a quarterback who's currently making $5 million. That's a totally different thing.
All right. I'm going to tell you to get your pen out because for a change, I agree with you.
Oof.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Hater with facts. Way to go.
it's a problem, I mean, and that's one of the things that I had with the NIL. The fact that they're not signing these kids to contract or anything like that doesn't hold them accountable. So they can
Right.
go out there and, shit the bed and nobody's actually. I would boo the piss out of them too. You're draining that freaking school for what?
Yep.
I mean,
And
that's
that
That's
is the
right.
accountability that he is getting right now. That's where the accountability is coming in, but it's coming from the fans instead of the coaching staff or the school.
I
or
don't.
anything like that.
I think that's even worse, to be honest with you. Because the fans are going to listen to, or excuse me, the coaches are going to listen to the fans at the end of the day. They're the
Yeah.
ones that are writing the checks.
Yeah. So far in 3 games, his completion percentage is 55%.
55. Oh my goodness, that is.
He's passed for 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions so far this year. So
And he hasn't gotten into the SEC schedule yet.
yeah,
Good
Yeah.
God, he better pick his nuts up, man. I'm just saying. I mean, it's
Yeah. And we covered this in the last pod with Fool's Gold. So we had some interesting takes on that. So I encourage our listeners, if you haven't, listen to episode number 7. We kind of talk about this as well. I do have a sidebar question, though. I want to ask about Florida. Woo Pig, do you think that coach, that they're going to go after Coach Prime even more now? I know we kind of touched on it last pod, but it seems that might happen.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna go for him. I don't know if he's willing to leave Colorado yet. I mean, it still seems like Colorado's pretty happy with Coach Prime usually, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Coach Prime does strike me as somebody that if a big Power 5 school came a calling that he would take the opportunity. And I do think Florida, like we said last time, I do think Florida is a a a big win for him. I think he would do well at Florida. Uh, the thing I keep hearing about is Lane Kiffin.
Lane
That's the head
Kiffin.
coach. Yeah, Lane Kiffin. He coaches at Ole Miss, but for some reason, the rumor mill always suggests that he might go to Florida. So,
Uh,
um, but who knows? I mean, it's Ole Miss is still an SEC school. It would be weird for him to like jump ship from an SEC school to an SEC school. I mean, he did jump from Tennessee to USC, like a thief in the
yeah,
night.
yeah.
Um, and that didn't work out too well for him. So maybe he's matured a little bit, and more comfortable at Ole Miss. I
That's
wouldn't
interesting
suggest him
take.
doing it. Yeah.
That's interesting. I have a funny story about the. So at the time when Lane Kiffin jumped from Tennessee to USC, like the day after he did it, I packed up a U-Haul and I was living in Virginia at the time, and I was driving all the way down to Texas. And I had a USC shirt on. So every time I stopped somewhere in Tennessee and got gas, I was just getting mean mugged. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know Lane Kiffin left USC. So I got it. I was probably about almost maybe an hour away from cross the state lines. I wanted to get something to eat. So I went to a Subway, and the lady looked at me. She goes, "We don't serve your kind here." And at first I was thinking like, okay, hold up. I didn't see no sign on the door that said, "No, we don't serve," or anything like that. And I look at her, and I guess my face said the whole thing, and she was like, "The shirt. We don't serve your kind here. The shirt."
She
And I
wasn't
go,
see she wasn't seeing black. She
"Oh."
was seeing red.
Yeah, that's exactly right, bro. That's exactly right. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And then, because by that time I knew Lane Kiffin left to USC because I was listening to sports radio, and so finally it dawned on me, and I got it. So that was a hilarious. I wore my USC Trojan gear all through Tennessee. That was crazy.
That was a crazy time, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he broke some hearts when he did that,
yeah,
but
he
in
did.
the end, he got his just resorts. They left him on the tarmac. I I laughed so hard when I heard about them firing him on the tarmac. He had to get
Yep.
his own plane ride home. You know how much you
Uh,
gotta hate somebody from a like, your your job sends you on a business trip and fires you and doesn't let you come back. It's
yep.
like you gotta buy your own plane ticket.
I
I
Yeah.
kinda
Not
wish they
that
would have
plane,
done the
homie.
same thing to Brian Kelly, man. I'm just saying.
Woo.
No, I hope they leave his ass at a bus stop
Oh
with a
my
with a
goodness.
$1.50 for a transfer.
Yeah, so I don't know,
It's
Coach
pretty
Prime
bad there,
maybe,
pal.
is Urban Meyer, is he ready to jump back in the ring?
Absolutely
Gross.
not.
Don't make me
But
throw
don't
up.
don't bring that man back in here.
Yeah.
Don't do don't
That man.
no.
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 I'm just
No.
saying.
No.
He's almost as bad as Kelly.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, Hater, so weren't you actually showing me something about, the fact that Urban Meyer was actually, or who was it that was it Urban Meyer that was maybe in contention for this so-called commissioner?
Oh, fuck
No.
that.
Oh, that wasn't me,
No, no,
but
no,
I could
no.
see something
That
like
wasn't
that.
Urban. That was the rumor was Nick Saban, not
Nick
Urban
Saban,
Meyer.
that's right.
Oh, Nick
Right,
Saban.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they oh my god. Urban Meyer, oh lord.
Man, he would fuck that up.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
No, they can't give him that type of responsibility. No.
Okay, I didn't mean to open up another can of worms there, but I just had to ask.
So speaking of opening up, Whoopig, is there any other college takes you got?
Nope, I'm done, I'm good. I'm ready to turn it back over.
Good
All right. So
stuff,
let's
there, Pig.
well, yeah, really good stuff. Let's transition to NFL now. Take it away, Hater.
All right, so we're gonna recap week 2 real fast. The first big game that we had last week was the Eagles going to the Kansas City Chiefs. They took the game 20-17. Patrick Mahomes did not look very good. And be quite honest with you, Jalen Hurts, I mean, he did just enough to win the game. There were some push-tush controversies, which I'm pretty sure Mr. Raider has some thoughts on, but whatever. But my takeaway out of that game, Travis Kelce is now the new Conor McGregor.
Well, okay, so to be fair, the both of those defenses are exceptionally good. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that it actually came down to the way it came down. Mahomes, he was going to get challenged all day long, and then there was the hype out there about the Super Bowl and all that good stuff. So that was I didn't think there was any way in hell the Eagles were going to lose that game. And not only that, but let's not forget the fact that Mahomes. So we've actually had talks about Mahomes and what our thoughts are about him. So is he a hero or is he a goat? And I mean goat in a bad way. Is he the savior or is he just a piece? I mean, I think we're starting to see that he might be just a piece. Just because I mean you surround him with all these other just regular people,
Whoa.
on offense, that is. And Kelsey, he's a shadow
Say
of
that
what he
again.
was. I'm sorry?
Hold on. Say that again. Who's just a piece?
Mahomes. I think that if there's any glue, okay, to be fair, if there's
hold on.
any glue out there to be had, it's going to be him, but at the same
Angry Joe.
time, yeah.
That's a very interesting point you made. Now, I want you to take your fist, ball it up, and punch yourself in the fucking face. Because
No.
Pat Mahomes is not just a piece. That's a Tropic Thunder reference, by the way. Anybody knows?
Yeah, no, I got the reference. But my point is that unless you give him the tools that he needs, he will not succeed. And their 0-2 reflects that.
Yeah,
I mean,
fair point.
now you take Mahomes and you put him on the Eagles,
Oh,
and
shit.
you switch places with Hurts. Now what?
Yeah, that's fair, man. I get it. It's Pat Mahomes, man. That's
Okay,
all. But I get what
I'm
you're
not
saying.
saying that. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Maybe.
Yes.
I would say no at this point. And now is he a future Hall of Famer? Probably.
So
But
I would push back on that because Eli Manning got in there with 2, right?
Mhm.
Eli Manning. They're talking about Eli Manning, right? Being in the Hall of Fame. So if Eli Manning can get in there, Pat Mahomes definitely could be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
possible.
Okay, why is this even a question? Why? Why are we questioning this? The man literally has hosted an AFC Championship game each year, with the exception of one that he has been a starting quarterback. He has
Yeah.
he has 3 Super Bowls. He was on the verge of of three-peating. What are we talking about?
Oh, he
What are we
three-peated,
talking about?
right? He three-peated, and they weren't in the right way.
Oh my lord! Look,
Oh,
look.
that's
You're
this might be some Bronco hate.
Yeah, I was gonna say your
And I
Kool-Aid.
can't believe that you're not
Kool-Aid
throwing any
orange is
shade his
going,
way.
bro.
Too. Okay,
Huh?
I can't believe that, Jules. I can't think of why you're not throwing any kind of shade at him either.
It's hard not to, bro. I'm telling you, it's hard not to. But look, man,
You gotta
numbers and
respect.
facts are facts. You know what I mean? This dude is a killer, and he's won 3 Super
Oh.
Bowls. And like Hader said, all those championship games, pretty much every single year, he's been in the starting job.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Angry Joy, I just want you to understand something.
Okay, let's get it.
The AFC currently has 4 of the top 6 quarterbacks in the league. Is that fair to say? Between Mahomes,
Good point.
Lamar, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Is that fair?
Give me him
It
again.
is between Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes. Those are 4 of the top 6 quarterbacks in the league right now.
I think it's
When
going
we
to be
say-
shifting. I think it's shifting right now.
Okay, fine. But in the past 5, I would say that's been pretty much the list for the last 4 years at least. Would you say? Would that be fair?
Fair enough.
Okay. So, in order for you to win a championship or even to make the Super Bowl, in the AFC, you're going through at least 2 of those 4, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, if you're going through at least 2 of those 4, and of those 4, the
Okay,
only one that has
listen, dude. You don't have to give me his whole resume. Believe me,
Okay.
I've seen it as a Bronco fan for the past fucking ever. Okay,
Thank you.
my point
Okay.
is that he's actually taken. I think he's taking a step back. I mean, and not only that, but he does not have the supporting cast to actually win another ship in
Okay,
the foreseeable future. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Kelsey, he's he's pretty much cooked.
That's
And
why I
then
said
who's his other wide receivers? Worthy, he's out.
not available. Yep.
Yeah, and then Hollywood
Rasheed Rice
Brown.
is suspended. Yep. And Hollywood hasn't been Hollywood since he left Baltimore.
Okay, so you want to make a big believer out of me? Do what Josh Allen did.
Take your best
Oh.
wide receiver, and still make it to a championship game or a Super Bowl.
No. Deal with absolutely nothing and still contend.
Okay. All right. That's a fair statement. And look, the reason why I came to the conclusion after this game that Travis Kelce is becoming the next Conor McGregor is
Oh, he's a Swiftie. Come on, let's go.
well, yes. Now, remember what happened with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was on top of the UFC. He decides to have one fight with Floyd Mayweather. He gets the purse from that boxing fight, right?
Huge
He
mistake.
got the purse. And what happened after that? He was never the same since.
This is true. Okay.
Now,
Okay. Now, so I'm trying to figure out the tie-in here.
right. Now, the tie-in is when Travis was already being accused by some of slowing down. And after the loss to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, people thought that he was going to retire. He turned around and said, "No, I want to come back because he said, and I quote, I don't want to go out like that." That's what he said, right? So the news reports comes out, after every training camp, they always say everybody's in the best shape of their life and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, he slimmed down, blah, 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 blah," right?
Sure.
Well, he also did something else too. He decided to pull the Dave Chappelle and lock up one of the biggest, richest superstars in all of music, right? Basically, damn near a billionaire, right? So
Yeah.
basically, he's basically Conor McGregor and Stedman at the same time, right? So
All right.
now, but the kicker to me was during the game when Pat Mahomes throws him the ball, and all it did was just hit him in the hands. It bounces off his hands and turns into an interception. But instead of going after my man, I think it was Makuba, I think it was, instead of going after him, he just throws his hands up and just jogs in that direction, just gingerly. Like he didn't even try to even tackle a man after he intercepted the ball. That to me was the moment that he turned into Conor McGregor because he's like, you know what? What's the point? I'm about to lock up with a damn near billionaire. My life is about to change. I'm about to have the greatest sugar mama that ever existed. Sorry. You know what? I'm done with
getting
this
her
whole
pregnant
football thing.
right away.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, yo, we're already seeing the downward path. And one of the things that Pat Mahomes has not had to deal with. Now he lost Tyreek, but he's never lost Travis. And I think Travis is slumping, and I think that's affecting him because I kind of see like, with Travis, it seems like the love of the game is fading, but Pat's love of the game is still up. But you need other people to actually have that same level of commitment with you. And if he's not there and he's supposed to be your guy from this whole time that they have been together and he's starting to slip away, like how do you recover from that? And
Okay.
then
So I
you know
know
what I
that
mean?
we're actually going to be getting into our picks as far as who's going to be a sleeper dud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would
Well-
it surprise any of you guys terribly if the Giants actually beat Kansas City this week?
Nah, I can't.
Surprise? Yes. Gonna
I mean, it'll be a
happen?
surprise.
No.
But I don't see that. Like,
I don't
No.
see it either. I mean, to be fair, I think that one of those teams is going to have to come out pissed.
Well,
Yeah. Now,
let's
I think that
hold on.
we-
Let's save that for our matchups, right? Let's
yeah,
save that.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyway, I
we
didn't mean
have to
bring
move
your thoughts
forward.
there.
No, you're good, man. We have to move forward. So let's move into that so that way we can stay on time.
All right. So the next game we had last week was the Jaguars losing to the Bengals 27-31 in a game that really, this is T-Law identifying himself. He's got one foot on a banana peel on the other in the graveyard. They had no business losing that game. Absolutely no business, especially after Joe Burrow gets hurt. Joe Burrow gets hurt. You have the lead, and what does T-Law do? I believe he threw a pick. I think he threw a pick on their final drive. So I was just like, dude, like he's over here waving off his coach. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, T-Law? You know what I mean? I'm just so sick of his antics, and it's he's gotten a pass way too long, and so
Yeah.
um,
You're not gonna like my comparison, and neither are you, Angry Joey.
uh-oh.
I say T-Law is a broke ass Kirk Cousins.
Ooh,
Well, I'm not hating that comparison, dude. I mean, to be
nope,
honest with you, I think that Kirk Cousins. I mean, I thought that he was an efficient quarterback.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that T-Law. I mean, we even had a podcast where we actually talked about T-Law and
Yeah.
how he's on a make it or break it type thing. So I
yeah.
don't hate that take at all, there, dude.
So better quarterback amongst the panel. Would you take if you're starting a franchise, would you take T-Law or not say start a franchise. Let's say quarterback right now we want your team. T-Law or Kirk Cousins. Who would you want?
T-Law,
Right now,
just because his youth. I mean, if he actually has the right coaching behind him. I mean, Kirk Cousins. Well, what left does he have to prove? I mean, the man's been in the game in the trenches for the longest time. I mean, he's a breath away from retirement, as well he should be. Because I mean, God knows he's collected as much as enough money to last him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that man needs to be an agent.
He needs to be an agent.
he
So
does.
I would, if I had to choose between the two, there's plenty left in T-Law if he can right the ship. That's my only take.
And ifs were fists, we all be drunk.
Well, this is very true. This is very true. I mean, but put him on. Let's see. If you get a coach like an Andy Reid, what do you think that he could do with that?
He doesn't have
Angry,
it, dude.
Angry Joey, you do realize he had a Super Bowl head coach.
Yep.
The last one he got fired was a Super Bowl head coach.
I
Yep.
know. I'm just saying that, but he also didn't have the players behind him. But my point is that I think he was failed. I think he's a failed quarterback.
I would push
Okay.
back, man. I think he has all the right players around him right now. All the way from tight end, running back, wide receiver. Like, what more? I mean, they got the best two-way player in the draft.
Yeah.
What more does he need to be
I'm
successful?
I'm just going back to the question that you had: Kirk Cousins or T-Law.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking it's overall potential. I mean, because Kirk Cousins, he could retire next year. I would
He
take
could.
T-Law. I would take
Yeah.
T-Law. I mean that, and for that reason alone. But as far as from a quarterback for proficiency standpoint, definitely Kirk Cousins. He was a much better quarterback.
What about you, Hater?
Out of those two, I mean, that's like, getting hit by a train or hit by a trash truck. But I would, in that comparison, I would have to take T-Law, but I would hate it. And if I did have to keep him, if I was a general manager, I'll find a way to trade him.
Yeah.
Well, what if it was a 1-year rental? Like, let's say you're the Chiefs, you got Mahomes, he got injured, you only need him for 1 year, and you can choose T-Law or Kirk Cousins. Who you picking?
That's
Give-
actually a
give me-
really good point. I think that T-Law at this point is a bridge quarterback.
Yeah. But which one are you
okay.
picking for bridge? Between those two picks, if you have like Mahomes that's gonna come back from injury the next year.
Well, definitely
Or Joe
T-Law,
Burrow.
because I mean, you definitely take T-Law because I mean, like I said, Kirk Cousins, he's out of the league. He's not going to do.
No, he's
He's
not.
not going to bridge anything. He's not going to bridge anything.
Nope, I totally
So
disagree. In that scenario, I'll take Kirk Cousins over T-Law.
Same here. Yep.
well, how
'Cause
many
at least
years?
I know
Go to-
How many years do
I
you
know.
think that Kirk Cousins has left?
Well, that's what
He
we're
might only
talking about.
have
If
one.
it's a
Yeah.
1-year rental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a 1-year
1-year
rental.
rental.
Yeah.
Okay, and also tell me what draft pick you might have. Are you talking about a top 10?
No, I'm talking
No.
about
No.
you have a franchise quarterback that's coming back the next year. You just
Oh,
need
like
somebody
Joe
to fill the gap.
like Joe Burrow right now. Joe Burrow
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah.
Let's just say,
Yeah.
let's just say that
Oh,
and it's
okay.
philosophical, right?
I see your question now. Okay,
Yeah.
so in that case, I would definitely take Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
In that
That's good.
situation. But if you're talking about, like Joe Burrow being gone for the rest of the year, and then they actually have to draft another quarterback or something along those lines.
Well, yeah, because then you have
Oh.
to look at his age and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something along those, you're talking, yeah. So in that situation, the way you're describing, I would definitely take Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So I'm gonna move forward. Keep going there, Hater, with your topics.
Yeah. So the next game to review is the Bucks on Monday night came back and beat the Texans 20-19,
What a
and
good
a
game.
game that was absolutely a masterpiece and clutchness by Baker Mayfield, and allowed me to be, filling my display name here of being a hater. If there's one player I really cannot stand that much is Baker Mayfield, but I have to respect him. I have to respect him in this regard for what he has done since he has been a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I can't. I can't. He's continuously kept this team in the mix. He's continually brought this team to the playoffs. And despite the fact of the bevy of injuries that the Buccaneers have, particularly on offense, he has still found a way to pull games out of his ass. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last, but at least for right now, Baker Mayfield, tip of the cap to you, sir.
I got to talk on this. I got to speak on this because
Sure.
Baker Mayfield is the best story in the NFL right now. He is the best feel-good story in the NFL. So let me just go through this, all right? The Browns, they drafted him in 2018 after he was a walk-on for Oklahoma, and he came in, he won the Heisman, drafted number 1 overall by the Browns. I'm convinced they did it because he planted that flag at Oklahoma State, at Ohio State. He planted his OU flag. I think the Browns did it on purpose. They were trying to ruin this man's career because this is what he did. Okay, he had 3 head coaches and 4. He had 3 head coaches and 4 offensive coordinators in his times with the Browns. Overall, he has had 10 offensive coordinators in his career. 10. All right.
Damn.
So he got
10. 1-0.
10. Yeah, 1-0. So he got drafted in 2018. So the Browns' record prior to Baker, in 2015 they were 3-13. In 2016 they were 1-15, and then in 2017 they were 0-16. So in the 3 years prior to Baker, they were 4-44. All right. Baker comes in, wins Rookie of the Year his first year in, and then in his 3rd year, he gets them to the playoffs, and they beat their biggest rival, the Steelers, in a playoff game. That was the first time for them to win a playoff game since 1994. I was still in high school the last time the Browns won. And in 2020, they I'm showing my age, but over 20 years, like 25 years before they had won a playoff game, and they beat them, right? 1 year later, he gets hurt. They still go 6-8, so it's not like they were just completely dropped off. They still won more games in that 1 year than they had in the previous 3 before him. So they go 6-8, and all of a sudden the Browns are too good for Baker Mayfield, and they drop him. So
What year was that again?
2021, I think, was his last year.
Okay, keep going.
So and he still threw for 3,000 yards. He was injured. He only played 14 games. He was playing hurt. You could tell he was hurt. But anyways, they drop him. He gets picked up by the Panthers, right? Completely misused, dropped. He gets picked up off waivers by the Rams, plays a Thursday night game with 2 days of prep, and leads a comeback win after 2 days of prep. Beautiful game from him. And then he gets picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? So this is what he's done in his 2 years with some amount of like stability under him. In 2023, he had 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns with a passer rating of 94 and a Pro Bowl selection. And then in 2024, he had 4,500 yards, a 71.4% completion rating. His passer rating was a 106.8. He became one of the few quarterbacks to ever throw over 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, and have at least a 70% completion in the season. So the dude is just balling out. And then you go into last night's game. Not only did he have 2 games in a row where he's led a 2-minute drill to win the game, but that last game, he ran for a first down on a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 15, a 3rd and 10, and a 4th and 10, where he used his legs to win. So not only is he winning with his arm, he's also winning with his mobility. So I've loved Baker Mayfield since he planted that flag. I'm a big Ohio State hater, almost as much as hater with facts is. So I've loved Baker ever since. and I've always rooted for him, and I love what he's doing at Tampa Bay.
You wouldn't say, because it's not like you had any statistics to back your claims up.
Hey, I'm just saying, I came here, I'm going up against Hater with facts, so I gotta bring the facts against the hater, because he, for whatever reason, you would think if one person in this room would love Baker Mayfield, it would be the guy that planted the flag in OSU's stadium.
I mean, look,
I think he's just a
that's
hater in general there.
I mean, I just thought the arrogance that he came into the NFL with really, chapped my ass. All right. And I think the biggest thing about his whole journey, especially the playoff win and stuff like that, because at that point he was about to come across, he was about to get his contract. And at that point, you were thinking, okay, Patrick Mahomes was about to get, he was about to get his big money and he's winning championships. And so you're comparing that to, and eventually you have to go against that guy. Because remember, you're in the AFC, right? So it's like, all right, is Baker Mayfield good enough to beat Patrick Mahomes, especially at that point? And that, what I'm saying, in 2020, he was at the peak. He wasn't even at the peak of his powers at that point. And so now you're talking about, okay, we got to build around him and we got to put a contract around him. So that's like, all right, you're talking about 30, 36, $37 million per year for Baker Mayfield. Is it a flash in the pan or not? Those types of things. And again, he wasn't as mature back then as he is now, right? So I'm not a supporter of the Browns by any means, but you really got to think about that when you're talking about how they're behaving without, the big money yet, and then what they're going to be like once they get the big money. And again, the maturity of Baker Mayfield was not at the level that it is right now. So I feel like his path allowed him to be humbled, and after now he's come out the other side and he's a lot better off now.
I don't disagree with you there. I do, but I do think that the Browns completely screwed this over. I think Baker Mayfield is just that dude. He's not the most talented quarterback, but he gives 110%. He throws his body out there. There was a play in the game where he ran for a first down. He slid, he hit his knee. You could tell he bruised his knee. He grabbed a hold of his knee. The defensive player, I can't remember his name. I think it was CJ something, but he came up and started talking mess.
Oh, that
Baker
was CJ Gardner-Johnson.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he
Yeah.
always talking shit. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see how Baker immediately stopped holding his knee, jumped up, and got up into his face? Stuff like that is why I love Baker, because he's just a football guy. Like, he's like, you're gonna talk mess while I'm on the ground. I'm gonna just stomach this pain and get
Yeah.
up and talk right back. So
Yeah.
it's plays like that make me really enjoy watching Baker Mayfield play the game.
Totally agree with you, dude. So if you've ever played football, I mean, he's the kind of guy that you rally around. I mean, and I'm right there with you, Kyle. Even when he was with Cleveland, I loved his moxie. I loved, his passion for the game. I mean, yeah, he made some mistakes. I mean, being a first round pick, being a young kid, blah blah blah. But he was, you could tell that he was just passionate about it, and he was the kind of guy that players can just rally around and love. Yeah, I mean, that's what I like so much about him. But anyway,
Yeah,
Right.
I do agree with Hader though that I think him going through what he went through made him grow up quicker, and I think he ended up with an organization that is far better at taking care of their quarterbacks than what the Browns are. I mean, look at what the Browns are dealing with right now. It's
Look,
it's ridiculous. So
Before we keep it moving, though, I want to put out something out there that the listener and maybe y'all two could check it out too. Is look at Baker Mayfield's stats since 2022, and tell me that he's not the most talented or has talent. Just interesting thing, just to look up for the audience out there. Baker Mayfield's stats since 2022. All right, what other matchups you got, Hater?
All right, so the last one we got is my favorite of the week. The Bears went to the Lions this past week, and
Oh,
they got
geez.
boot the ass. They got
Belt
they
the
got
ass.
they
Man,
got
hold
they
on.
got belt the ass.
Bruh, they got their ass whooped like they stole God's supper.
Look, they got that old country ass whooping where you had to go and get your own switch. That's what they got. The final score was 21-52. Dan Campbell basically told Ben Johnson, "Yeah, you're a pretty nice Padawan, but you're no Jedi yet. And yeah, take this L with you on the way out." And so, just one point, and I'll toss it up to the rest of the panel here. Once again, for the second week in a row, Caleb Williams escapes the pocket with great athleticism because he escaped Aiden Hutchinson for a sack. It's 2nd and 34. He escapes, and instead of either throwing the ball away, just run as far as you can and get yardage, get out of bounds, he decides to just heave it completely off target for a pick. And they cut to Ben Johnson, and the look on his face just it cemented everything. I wanted that injected into my veins. It just filled my soul, man. You don't understand that. Oh my! I felt so good as a Lions fan, man. Just to see the erratic behavior yet again of Caleb Williams, and the fact that Ben Johnson has to deal with that man. I just love it. I just love it. Now, I do wish Ben Johnson a successful career as a coach, just as long as he doesn't play the Detroit Lions.
I heard it.
But the fact of his arrogance and the fact that he left us to go there specifically for Caleb, and this is the way Caleb is behaving right now, it just warms my heart, y'all. With that, I'm gonna kick it back off to y'all.
So I got something on this because I believe I picked the Bears as my upset
Yes, you did.
last pod.
What have we learned?
Well, we've learned don't put your dick out there because they'll get smacked. I have 2 comments on that. Number one, the game, when I was watching this game, the Lions gave a double wide, 2-bedroom, 2-bath asshole whipping on the Bears. It was so sad. It was so sad. And you know what? And then when they went to Campbell, and Campbell does his little what is it? The meeting after the game. What the hell is that? The meet the press, whatever it is. He looked like he had a secret. You know what that secret was, Hater with Facts?
What's up?
It's about, do you know why they invented the streets or the sidewalks? You know why the sidewalks are invented? Because these streets ain't for motherfucking everybody. And that's how Detroit treated the Chicago Bears. The streets ain't for motherfucking everybody. Stay on the sidewalk, young fella. That's what it was.
On, brother.
So I will never, ever pick the Bears to upset somebody ever again in my life. That's my take.
Very good.
Anybody else?
Oh man.
I got nothing. You should have known. You never trust USC quarterbacks. in the NFL.
Whoa. Hold on.
Wow.
Saying.
Wow.
I know you ain't talking. I think the only successful QB, moderately successful Arkansas ever had was Ryan Mallett. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's true. And then he started doing cocaine, and that went all downhill. So, yeah, I can't say much either. You're right.
On the rant videos, I remember USC had Carson
cringe.
Palmer. Sam Darnold, not exactly a stud, but he's still in the NFL.
Mark Sanchez. There's also Mark
Ball
Sanchez.
fumble.
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Y'all been going downhill, man.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I can't say
No,
much.
that's all right. It's payback from my doormat comment from a couple pods ago. I understand.
We don't talk
Hey,
about
Joey, you got anything?
No, sir. I'm glad we're leaving off where we are.
Okay, what's next on that? You got anything else on the NFL?
No, we'll talk about the games of the week on the next pod. So we're good here.
I can't believe that you didn't even bring it up there, hater.
What?
There were certain games that you left off.
No. But these were our highest rated games of the week. So based off the power rankings.
So I'm not going to give you any fuel for the fire. So I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good. Let's
no.
move on.
Wait,
No.
hold on.
I mean, you want to talk about your Broncos taking an L. I mean, that's fine. It's just the fact that
no. You go ahead and move on, sir, because
right.
I took enough. I took enough ass whooping for the week. Thank you very much.
All right, that's fine. Because we can talk. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them in week 3's games of the week.
Okay, so just to be fair, I will say this. Everybody's sitting there talking about the last second blocked field goal and blah blah blah. There was more to the game than that. And you can't put this on the refs. I mean, was it a poor call? Sure. Was it poorly timed? Sure. But, was that the game? Was that the call that actually ended the game? No, there was a hell of a lot more that left up to it. Never mind the fact that our kicker Lutz actually missed, shanked one. Never mind the fact that Bo Nix actually threw one close to in the red zone, and never mind the fact that the Broncos actually left unaway, with a couple of pass interferences in the end zone, and they weren't able to really formulate anything after that. So I don't blame you're going to very rarely hear me say this, especially when we go to play Kansas City, but I very rarely, I'm not going to blame the refs for this one, but it was still a very, very, very painful loss. It was one where my wife literally got to see a bottle go flying across the air.
Ooh.
But you forgot one very important point. Clearly,
Okay.
Denver decided to leave their defense back in Denver.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is a very, very good point. Denver's defense is supposed to be billed as being one of the greatest defenses in the league right now, and they gave up 29 to a Daniel Jones-led offense. Now, to be fair,
How about to give Daniel Jones paid, man?
well, hey, man,
Yeah.
God bless him if he does. Anthony Richardson couldn't get it done, but
Nope.
yeah,
Facts.
but the facts are this, Indianapolis, they're no joke. Okay. I'm going to give props where props are due. Their defense played just well enough, and their offensive line is good. They've actually really stabilized their talent players, with Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, and some of their other piece players. I think that they're going to be pretty good. And Warren, I think that I think they're right in the mix. There's no reason why they shouldn't be 2-0 right now. So
Well,
anyway,
it does leave something to be said when your owner is actually on the sideline.
explain that.
Oh, they've been talking about how, Mr. Irsay, he passed away, and now his daughter or his
Oh,
daughters are now the owners of the team. And one of them is, like, on the sideline on game day with a headset on. Like, she's listening to everything. So,
well, this I wasn't
that's
aware
almost
of.
like yeah, that's almost like the president of your company coming down to your office and sitting next to you the whole entire time. You're like, "Oh, man."
Yeah.
So everybody's
So
on their best behavior, you know?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was a tough loss. My wife, as I'm sitting there grilling, she saw me go from 1 second of complete exhilaration to
Outright despair.
disgust. Yeah, to where she couldn't be in the same room with me. It was a tough loss to watch, and my wife, she was just as pissed as I was because I've managed to morph her into a Broncos fan. So
'Cause I know you have a lot you wanna talk about in regards to a particular fight that happened over the weekend.
Yes, sir, I do. But does anybody else have anything on this last topic that Hater Facts had before I move on to mine?
no,
Good.
I think it's pretty well covered.
Okay, so this was a very, very good fight that I just saw on Netflix, who's also going to be on my Alamo Minute, just to kind of give it a preview of that. So let's talk about this for a second. Well, what am I referring to? It's the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford boxing match that happened on Netflix. It happened this past Saturday. And what people don't understand, or what the takeaway should be from this, is that this is kind of like one of the once in a lifetime fight make matchups that have been in the works for years. And what made it really come to fruition was because of how boxing has pretty much been on a death spiral for the last, 20 plus years. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
So within the last 2 3 years, Dana White has been secretly getting involved in some of these discussions to get these top tier matches. And actually, he was talking about maybe starting his own boxing side with the UFC. And he's convinced some of the heavy players that, look, just because your name fighter loses doesn't mean it diminishes market appeal. Look at my UFC brand. So he took that mentality, and he's got the right people in place to make these super fights happen. All right. So sidebar. So here's what I want to take away from all our audience out there. Just how spectacular Terence Crawford is. He is the GOAT of this generation, and I'll tell you why. Number one, Terence Crawford moved up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo. Okay, Terence Crawford fights at 147 pounds. Canelo fights at 167 pounds. So that's just what they weigh at the weigh-in, not what they weigh when they walk into the ring that same night when they rehydrate and that kind of stuff. So you're talking about another extra 10 pounds, 9 to 10 pounds added to that, to Canelo. So this dude stepped up and he did what he had to do against a bigger opponent. He took care of himself physically. Terence put on some weight himself. He looked really good for 167. I don't know if people have saw the pictures of him,
Yeah.
but he was awesome. He really was. So again, he moved up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo for the super middleweight. Crawford ended up winning by decision. Just in case, if you guys didn't watch the fight, the judges scored it 116, 112, 115, 113, 115, 113, all for Crawford. And
That
with this win, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna just side note, I don't agree with those scorecards at all.
I don't either. I think it's way wider than that. I think Terrence
Yeah.
basically gave him a master class on how to box in there. But
Yes.
with this win, Terence Crawford became the first male boxer in the 4-belt era to become an undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes, according to Reuters. Like, if you don't know much about boxing, that is ridiculous. And boxing has been around for almost 200 years now. And this dude is just setting records now. As far as what their records were going into the fight, Canelo's record was 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws with 39 KOs. And Terence Crawford was 42-0 with 31 KOs. And what's also cool is that Vegas showed up, man. There was 70,482 people that saw this fight in person. And then Netflix, there was 41 million viewers globally on Netflix, and the fight was number 1 in 30 countries. So you can't tell me that Netflix isn't the right spot for this fight. All right, so I prefaced all that. I have a couple more things I want to just kind of make the case as to why Crawford is the GOAT of this year. But let me just offer a few points on the fight itself. What really worked for Crawford is his tactics and his ring generalship. Like, if you watched his footwork, Terence Crawford's footwork, his speed, his defensive instincts to avoid Canelo's biggest power shots and counter off of those, like, he did it from the southpaw stance. He allowed angles to set up his counters. Like, he did a really good job of ring generalship. That's what separates him from other fighters. And, as the fight progressed, especially from I believe it was the middle rounds, that's when you start to saw Crawford take command of the distance and the momentum. I mean, he mixed jabs, counterattacks, like he mixed it all. It was amazing. And then if you think about it, look at what Terence Crawford had to deal with. Not only did he move up weights, but he had to deal with the Canelo's reputation. Canelo Alvarez is a very popular fighter amongst all spectrums, like Mexican fans, um, Middle Eastern fans, Asian fans, all over the world. He's a huge star. And I think what hurt Canelo was that he underestimated the speed and basically the ability to get out because he couldn't figure out Crawford's style. And he wasn't able to get his punches off. And what I've been reading also, especially on ringmagazine.com, they suggested that, hey, the age, ring rust, and pace is probably catching up to Canelo because he's been boxing since he was, 16? He's been boxing adults since he was 16.
Yeah.
So that's it. So I think Terence Crawford's legacy is pretty much set. He's an undisputed GOAT, and his unbeaten record now includes beating Canelo, which is amazing. And Canelo standing, he doesn't lose any shine. I mean, that was a good fight. It's not like he got knocked out in the first round. He did what was that one with Jake Paul and the boxer Nate? It's not like
Nate
what was
Robinson.
his name? Yeah, it's not like he
come
did
on,
a
man.
Nate
That was
Robinson in there.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a really good super middleweight fight, and it was good for boxing. It was good for the business, and it was good for streaming, and it brought fans back in the fold. So yeah, that's my take. What do y'all think about that?
So I posted on X, and y'all can find me at H8R with FAX on X. I said, I appreciate Crawford for being confident enough to attempt this feat and congratulate him for achieving it. He has every right to be held as a top 5 all-time champion. And
Yes, sir.
if he has a better undefeated record than Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, because I don't know who else will attempt to do something like this again, or somebody who has the type of record that he has when you decide to, because he's 38, right?
Yeah.
So at his age, with the reputation and the resume that he already had, to attempt this feat and then succeed, we probably won't ever see this again.
Yeah, crazy.
I salute that man.
Well,
I
not since
100%.
B-Hop would
Yeah, yeah.
fight in his later
Oh, yeah,
ages, but he
B-Hop would,
never
yeah.
was no 3 division weight champ though, you know?
No, no. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So
good take. That's a good
yeah, because
take.
everybody else, yeah, anybody else would be too scared. And just as a little side note, hey, NBA players, y'all might want to pay attention when it comes down to the slam dunk contest. I'm just saying.
But so to kind of finish it off, so I like the direction that boxing is gonna go if Dana can be involved, if the Saudis can stay involved, because they get it and they see the success of the UFC. Like, I mean, how many times has Diamond lost? How many times what's his name? BMF guy, former BMF guy. Oh my God.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, Tony Ferguson, he lost a couple times.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, he's lost a lot of
Yes.
time, but
Yeah.
he's still a fan favorite. He can draw. So like boxing has these same type of talent, man. It's just these promoters that are in the way that now letting them all fight each other. So
They
I
need to
think
do something though,
yeah,
because like for instance,
Jake Paul is, this is,
Jake Paul's taking it over.
yeah,
You
he's
go
trying to.
you do a Google right now, and the Canelo fight is not the top search result. It's Jake Paul versus what is that, Gervonta Davis or whatever that's coming up, that upcoming fight.
Javante,
Oh, that's a
another good
joke.
boxer.
That's a
Yeah,
joke. Oh my
but
God. It's such a
Javante's still gonna
disgrace.
whoop his ass
Come on,
though.
so was the Mike Tyson fight.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. But he's good at promoting and making it exciting and bringing in fans from outside the sport. So that's why the top Google results are about a Jake Paul fight and not about this Canelo fight that just happened. So
that's
I don't
sad.
know,
it's
man. So was the Ringling Brothers circus. It's a bunch of bullshit.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, Angry Joey. I'm so sick and tired of Jake Paul and his antics. I'm tired of it. And to be honest with you, I would love, I don't know if Canelo will actually do it, but I would love for him to get in the ring with Jake Paul and beat his ass.
Well,
I would
Javante's
love
gonna
for
do
that.
that. Javante's is gonna kill him in the body. I mean,
That's never going to
watch.
happen. Just because Jake Paul, he's going to finger punch his own fights. He's not going to go into a fight knowing where he's going to get his ass whipped. He's going to be somewhere where either A, he could rig a fight, or 2, he's going to win.
And you should see Gervonta Davis's YouTube highlights, bro. I mean,
And see, this is exactly where boxing has lost its way. It's become an antic. It's become a joke. I mean, who is actually really going to watch a fight, when you have UFC in the corner? I'm just
okay.
saying.
They're trying to change that though. So I agree with you, but they're trying to change it, and I think it's headed in the right direction. This was a good
I mean, I hope so, because
springboard.
the days of, Muhammad Ali, Joe Lewis, and all the,
Sugar Ray Leonard,
the Sugar Ray
Yeah.
Leonards, and, all
Lennox
those
Lewis.
great fighters, I
Martin
mean,
Hagler.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, those are great fighters. I mean, what has happened to the sport? It's become a
Promoters.
business and nothing more than that.
Well,
I mean,
honestly, it was Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and don't get me wrong,
Yes.
I do love Floyd as far as a boxer, real talented, but he ruined it. He ruined boxing
did.
for the last 20 years.
He did.
And if you look at the 70s, 80s, and mid 90s, that's
yeah,
when
absolutely.
Roberto Duran and
Especially compare him, with the De La Hoya fight. What a bunch of bullshit that fight was.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's why, and to your point, Mr. Raider, I love the fact that Dana White is is putting his finger on the scale on this because I think it's going to force the issue and to bring these fights together and to tell these freaking promoters, you know what, y'all can kick rocks because I'm just going to do it myself. And now, as long as the pay is good, that's going to entice those fighters to go to Dana, and it's going to make it happen. So, and it's great for Netflix because, I mean, hell, everything's going to streaming anyway.
I
So
mean, that's very true, though. I mean, how bad do you think you are, Mayweather, when you refuse to sit in the octagon with McGregor?
well,
Yeah,
I,
well,
I
that
wouldn't
was
do
never
that
gonna
either.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was
I
never
even
going
wouldn't
to
do
McGregor
happen.
that.
knew
Of
that
course,
wasn't gonna happen.
because but you
Hell
have
no.
to walk into his sport. So what the fuck? I mean,
Well, hold on. So McGregor was calling for that fight for like what, 2 years?
2 years. Yeah. He
You
was
know,
talking for
he
2
was.
years, and then look, it was a mutual exchange. You know what I mean? Mayweather put the publicity on, and McGregor got the biggest purse he ever had.
oh,
So it all worked
okay,
out.
I agree. But at the same time, I mean, he had to eat crow. Why don't you come into my ring now next time, motherfucker? Let's see how
Absolutely
that
not.
plays out.
Absolutely not. I'm not. No.
Okay,
Well,
so
first
you
of
ain't got
all,
a hair on your ass, is what you're saying.
no,
No,
no, no.
Floyd
But what
never
I'm saying
said that
is,
he was going to do that. That's the thing.
right.
Floyd
Yeah.
never said he would go box him or go fight him in MMA. Never.
No. Yeah. No boxer would. Like,
Well, then he
matter
can't
of fact,
compare.
Because they
as
get
far as
their
I'm,
freaking
Absolutely can't
yeah,
destroyed.
say that you're the
yeah. Come on
baddest
now.
out there. You're not the baddest on the planet if you can't do that.
Well, I mean, but the disciplines are different. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
that would be a fool's errand if you did that. Like, as far as I remember, there was only one other time where, like, a professional boxer tried out UFC. It's an actual, mixed martial
Frank
artist.
Frank
He got the
M.
ass
Kong
whooped.
Song, whatever his
Yeah,
name is,
yeah,
where he fought
and he got
Tyson
his ass
Fury.
whooped. Yeah, and he got his ass whooped. So,
Yeah,
like,
with
that's
Joshua.
why you
Yeah.
never saw it again.
But he gave Tyson Fury that first boxing match. He gave him a run for his money, man. Which some people made the case that he actually won.
Yeah,
That fight. But the next fight, it wasn't even close. And then the next fight after that with Joshua, he like knocked homeboy out.
yeah.
Okay, well, that's all it takes I have on that. You want to do the fantasy sleeper stud and does now? We have
Yeah,
about
let's do it.
10 minutes.
Yep, let's do it. I know, Woo Pig said that he wants to go first, so you get to
That's
make
right.
your
I don't want you taking my picks.
all right, so,
Let's go. Let's do it.
yeah, yeah, we won't have to do the rules right now, but, if you got all your picks ready to go, just go ahead, fire them away.
All right. So my sleeper pick is Michael Penix Jr. The Falcons have one of the most talented offenses in the league. In week 2, Penix was just a game manager with a run heavy attack against the Vikings. But this season or this week's matchup is against the Panthers. So he'll have a weak secondary that he can throw against. So I think this is going to be a bounce back pick for Michael Penix. So that's my sleeper pick.
He just
My
sniped me.
did I snipe you? I'm sorry.
It's
Not
all right.
sorry. I mean, my stud pick is Rome Odunze or Odunes,
Odunze.
wide
Yep,
wide
got it.
receiver for the Bears.
Dang it.
So he had 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's outpacing his teammates with Caleb Williams. And he's facing the Cowboys secondary, which was torched for like 450 yards by Russell Wilson. So I think he's primed for a week 3 explosion. And then my dud of the week. Let's see if I can get all 3 of Raiders picks. My dud of the week is Chase Brown, running back for Cincinnati. He
Ugly.
Yeah, he lost a lot of work. Now that this kind of a guinea pig, but since Joe Burrow got hurt, that instead of the checkdowns that Chase Brown would normally get, I believe that it'll go to Jamar Chase instead. So, he'll still be the workhorse for Cincinnati, but I just think he's going to lose out on a lot of that activity with Burrow out. So that is my dud of the week. And those are my 3 picks.
I'll take it from here. So my oh crap. Oh, where did my stuff go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So my sleeper of the week for this week is wide receiver Ted McMillan from the Carolina Panthers. He is ranked as the wide receiver 19 right now. They're going up against Atlanta. Atlanta's coming off of that big win at Minnesota last week. But this is going to be a divisional game. Divisional games are toss-ups for the most part. And so I think he's the number one option right now for Carolina. And he's been, he doesn't get the same shine as some of the other rookies, but he has definitely done good work. So I'm taking him as my sleeper of the week. My stud of the week is quarterback Matthew Stafford. They're going into Philadelphia this week. I feel like it's time. They played them very close. They played them close in the playoff game last year. It seems like they're starting to come on. They didn't look too great in week 1, but they look better in week 2. And now they're going to have extra motivation going into Philly. And I think Philly can be had, especially since he has a healthy Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I think they're going to put on a show. And my dud of the week is tight end Trey McBride.
That's
They
a
are
safe pick.
they play at San Francisco this week. Look, it's not because of Trey McBride specifically, but it's because of Kyler Murray. I'm sorry, I can't stand the kid. I'm sorry. And the clock is about to turn to October, but for right now, he's the tight end 1 going into the week.
Who are they
And
playing
I
again?
think they're playing at San Francisco. And so yeah, so those are my 3 picks. Trey McBride is my dud. My stud is Matt Stafford, and my sleeper is Ted McMillan.
Well, I would say 2 out of those 3 are easy picks.
Oh
With
my god.
Matthew Stafford and Trey as each points. But all right, way to be dangerous.
Oh my god.
Way to be dangerous. We know
Oh
Matthew
my god.
Stafford's gonna get his. Trey McBride, who's been talking about him all season? Nobody. But okay, I see what you're doing there.
Oh my god. You and your judgment, man. Who are your picks, bro? You know what I'm saying? Who are your picks?
Well, before I do that, I just saw that Tony with Takes just arrived. So I'm gonna say, what's up, Tony with Takes? You want to go in on this sleeper? Stud?
Yo, sorry, my dudes.
What's up, my buddy?
Oh,
What's up, man?
When some Wednesdays are tough for me, I'm sorry. Thanks for
good,
letting
bro.
me on though for the last bit. At least I get to put in my picks for the week. I don't know where you guys are at.
Well,
I'm
so
sad
we
I
didn't
missed the.
we didn't do any picks yet, but we're gonna do that the next pod. Listen, you came in just in time though, man, because like we're doing our sleeper, stud, and dud. Myself, Angry Joy, I have to go, but since I see you here, man, and you haven't been, take it away, bro.
I'll start with my sleeper. I don't know. Maybe this is a little cheating because it's injury related, but I'm going to go with Jordan Mason from the Minnesota Vikings, already facing a terrible defense, and he could even be considered a sleeper if the 1A to his 1B wasn't already out. But we know Aaron Jones ain't going to be playing in this game. So going up against a terrible Bengals defense, I think he's a must start on the week. So that's my sleeper. If that's a little too like not sleepery, that's fine. I can give you another one later, but that's who I'm gonna go with. My stud of the week is gonna be, studs are always weird. It's like, all right, just name like a good guy, and I'm trying not to be that way, but and he's had a couple good games, so it feels like a little weird, but you got to start James Cook playing the Dolphins. Another thing, just attack terrible defenses, and they're going to be up big in this game. You hope that he gets some carries and touches later in the game, which maybe not. Maybe Ray Davis does get some because they're up so big. So that's the one worry. But I think just through 3 quarters, he'll get enough to be a super stud. like more than he usually is, right? He's usually like kind of bordering on that running back 1-2 realm, but he'll be like top 5 running back this week.
Oh, I'm scared for what this dud is. Go ahead.
All right, the dud. Look, this rookie has been balling out, and if he was on a good team, he would, because he's even impressed me, and I drafted him in the Blitz League. Like everything about him is bigger than I. Everything about him is better than I even hoped for because I was a tiny bit skeptical. Ted McMillan has been so good this year, right? But he hasn't got the touchdown. Say he even caught 1 touchdown on the year, his numbers would he would look even way better. What we know about him though is all the underlying metrics look great, right? He's been separating like crazy. Obviously his target percentage is insane, which is great when we like to see that. However, it's bad, and they're going up against the Falcons secondary, who is quietly becoming very, very, very awesome. He's already going to be facing AJ Terrell, who's a top 10 corner in the league, but those 2 safeties with Bates and the rookie Watts has been balling out. They're a very scary, dangerous secondary. And I just this is going into Atlanta division game. I don't like it because they know they're good enough to just take him away now with that corner and those safeties. Why wouldn't you take him out of this game? It's too
That's the
easy.
point.
He's their only threat. So as much as it pains me, Ted McMillan is my dud.
Wow. We have a first in the history of the show. We have one pick of the same player for sleeper and dud. So we'll see
Love
what
it.
happens.
Love it.
Angry Joey?
Oh, this is always tough. As Tony's always pointed out. Okay, so for my sleeper of the week, and I'm not sure if this is much of a sleeper, but he does fall within the criteria. And it also depends on what the receivers for the Broncos are going to do. But my sleeper of the week is going to be Troy Franklin. He actually just absolutely balled out this last week. Now granted, it was against Indianapolis, and they don't have the best defensive backfield, but I mean, he really showed his fortitude in that game, and I think that he's really starting to get a chemistry with Bo Nix. So I think that he could be a force to be reckoned with. But that also depends on what they do with Cortland Sutton. I mean, because in that game they also didn't do much of anything, or Cortland Sutton didn't do much of anything, and Evan Ingram, he's been non-existent, so I don't know. It's always so far for the first 2 weeks, it's been the Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin show. I mean, yeah, Cortland Sutton actually had a pretty good game, but it also depends on what they can get going with the running crew, and they are playing against a Harbaugh defense, so I think that they're going to air the ball out just a little bit more. The On contrast, I think that my dud of the week, and I'm gonna reach for the fences here, but until he can prove me otherwise, I'm gonna say Genty is gonna be a dud. I don't think that he's gonna live up to expectations, and not only that, but he's actually facing a Commanders defense that's no joke. They really aren't, so it's tough for me to pick that, because I don't know when Genty's going to have that breakout game, if ever. I hope he never does, because he's a Raider.
Watch it. Watch it. Watch it.
He's a Raider.
And I can't believe we didn't even talk about the Raiders Chargers game, but okay, but watch it.
So it's going to be interesting, what Genty's actually able to do, whether he can put some numbers up against Washington or not. My stud, and I don't know if this is much of a stretch, but based on the criteria that you put forth, I mean, it's going to be Mike Evans. I think that he's going to have a really good game.
All right.
I'm just reaching for the fences on this one.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I
All
guess
right,
it's
Mr. Raider. It is you.
alrighty. So for my sleeper, I have Cooper Kupp. I think he's going to have a really good game. My stud, Chase Brown, I think Chase Brown's going to get a lot of work because Burrow's out. But what I mean by that is he's going to be Browning's safety blanket. I think he's going to have checkdowns and across the middle, and I think T. Higgins might actually feed off too because they're just going to lock. They're going to put. They can't put all 9 in the box, right? Because Jamar Chase is out there, T. Higgins is out there, so somebody's going to have to. They're going to play a lot of 3-4 or 4-3. So I think there's plenty of opportunities for Chase to eat. My dud is Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't. I just man, that dude is too talented not to be having the ball. I mean, forced thrown to him at the very least. I think he's going to have like maybe 4 or 5 catches for 50 yards, 60 yards. That's about it. So those are my picks.
Wow. We got 2 fights going on here. With Ted McMillan between me and Joey me and Tony, and Chase Brown between Mr. Raider and Woo Pig. So this is gonna be a nice week 3 in our sleeper stud and dud this week.
Yep. So Joey,
Wow.
why don't
Okay.
you lead us off with the MLB on the next pod? All right. So let's move on then to Alamo Minute and Kiss My Grits. Since Hater with Facts is the originator of Kiss My Grits, or whatever you want to do, man. If you want to do the Alamo or you want to do Kiss My Grits first, take it away.
All right, I'm gonna make this real quick. It's gonna be a Kiss My Grits, and this is gonna make one of us very happy. Brian Kelly, come on down, brother. You had the nerve. You won the game at home. Good for you. Golf clap. But then you decide to berate a reporter because they asked you about your offensive performance in that game because you only mustered 13 points on a team to which the opposing quarterback threw 5 interceptions. There was a reason why the reporter asked you that question, Brian Kelly, and then you had the nerve to actually call him spoiled. Let me tell you something, man. You have been spoiled the whole entire time you have been a head coach. I'm going to need you to calm the hell down and understand that you're in the SEC now, even though you've been coaching there for the last 3 years. And while you're at it, kiss my grits.
Angry Joe.
So I have two Alamo minutes. One is I know a couple of episodes ago we were sitting there talking about how one of the guys in the NFL actually got charged with or not charged, but he was sued because of the amount of haircuts he actually had and blah blah blah. I don't know, and Monster was there to talk about how that's part of the culture and so on and so forth. But he had what 10? I can't remember how many tens of thousands of haircuts, right? Something like
Oh,
that.
that was
You remember that?
that was
Tank?
yeah, that was NBA, and that was
Yeah,
Malik
that's Beasley.
Beasley. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay. So
yeah.
if he would have known about this place, he could have saved himself a few dollars. I mean, so there's a place on Alamo Ranch
Supercuts.
Parkway. It's Alamo Ranch Parkway. And it's called the Locker Room. And these young ladies, and one of the young ladies that I'm kind of her regular. Her
Not
name is
sponsored.
Bree. Yeah. I'm not sponsoring or anything like that. I'm just calling out because she's my friend, and her and her wife have been very, very nice to me. And anyway, anyway, I just wanted to say, they do massage the scalp, they do shampoo your hair, they pamper you, and when the first time that I actually went
We
there,
know where this is going.
yeah, I know where this is going. So the first time I actually went there, I was very hesitant because I thought that I was going to be called out for obvious reasons. Anyway, but I make
What? No, give us the story.
I make no apologies whatsoever, gentlemen. These ladies are amazing. And they treat gentlemen like gentlemen, and they're very good at their craft. And I would recommend them in a minute.
Okay. Do you have a Kiss My Grits?
In light of the last week that we've had, it's hard for me to resist it. So I am gonna resist it, though.
Good.
We're gonna stay away from. We're gonna hold true to ourselves and stay away from the nonsense that's out in the world and all the noise.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay true to what unifies us, and that would be America, the military,
Sports.
and sports.
Okay, and that's not a kiss my grits. Just I want to reiterate that.
It is
Everybody's
not
listening.
grits,
That's
you know,
not a
but
kiss my grits.
But I will say this: anybody that besmirches that or is uneasy with that, they can kiss my grits.
Well said. Boo Pig, what you got?
I don't really have anything this week. I kind of gave it all last week, so like I can't think of anybody that I want to give a shout out to, and it's been a good week for me, so I'm good.
All right. So my Alamo Minute shout out is to Netflix. I really appreciate them putting on that fight and trying to get these big fights together, because I don't want to pay $69, $79.99 to watch a boxing match like that, So I love how they stepped up to the plate, footed the bill, and gave the fans, the people, what they wanted to see. And the people tuned in. So that I kudos and shout out to Netflix for that. My
So what did they
kids-
let you? So did you could watch the fight with just your regular monthly membership? Is that how it went?
Yep, that's it.
Oh,
And it was a
that's
good
cool.
fight.
Cool,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it was a good fight. I did an analysis on the fight, so make sure you listen to this recent pod too. And I'm curious to see what you think about it as well. But yeah, it was on Netflix. It was good. So now, my kiss my grits. It has to be for all these freaking crybabies that are crying that Tom Brady wants to sit in the Raiders coaching box with a headset on. What difference does it make? And you think that him sitting up there is going to bother or is going to mess with his ability to do commentary on NFL games? Child, please. It ain't going to do nothing. And all he's doing is sitting there listening to how stupid Chip Kelly is calling this damn game. So none of these teams have anything to worry about. That's Kiss My Grits A. Kiss My Grits B is all the crybabies that are out there about the tush push. Just all the refs have to do is just
Well,
call
I
it right.
like
If
that
there's a
one. I
false
like
start,
that one.
throw the flag. And you can
I
look
like
at the
that.
camera overhead and throw the flag. You don't need to change the play. It's a football play. So stop fucking
Right.
crying about it.
Yeah.
And you know who also gets away with this? The Bills. The Bills have ran the tush push 63 times. And they've only been successful 14. Nobody talks about them. So I don't want to hear this shit. They're only mad at the Eagles because the Eagles keep whooping the Chiefs' ass and the Chiefs keep complaining like whiny little bitches.
Like
So
their
anyway,
right tackle the all-star on every
I'm so
goddamn play.
confused right now. Somehow we started on
Whiny
Tom Brady and ended
idol.
up at the tush push. I don't.
it was Kiss My
I don't
Grits A was the people who didn't like Tom
oh, you
Brady
did
sitting.
2 of them.
Yeah,
You did a double feature, Chris. My kiss
I
my
did
Oh, okay.
because I only had one
Oh.
Alamo minute. So I
because I was
changed.
still thinking about the Tom Brady thing, and then all of a sudden you started talking about the tush push, and I was like, "What?"
Nah,
Oh
that's
my
why I did
God.
that. That's why I did that transition A
Well,
to now to
I
B.
I
You should
100
understand A and 2. You should get what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I completely agree with your Tom Brady take. He only has a 5% stake, a bunch of
Yeah.
crybabies. I completely disagree with your tush push. That's a stupid ass play, and they need to ban the hell out of it.
Well, that's good. Well, listen, that wraps it up. But before we close it out, anybody else got any go backs? Hater with facts, you got any go backs?
No, sir.
Angry Joe, you got any go backs?
I'm good like Flynn.
Tony with takes. That's a no. Boo Pig Suey, you got any go backs? I think that's a no too.
Smart. Okay.
Got it.
So, socials. You can catch me on X at H8R with FAX on X. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search the 210 Show Pod. We will also have a link to the Discord where you can join us there. And you can hit us up on email, either j@the210show.com or hater H8R with FAQS at the210show.com. Or
And
you
we're
can
also
find us
Spotify.
on any other type of restaurant with a beer in hand.
and we're on Spotify.
In the 210.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, again, thank you everybody for listening. God bless. Take care.